Thank you so much, Christian Wedge. That was a complete presentation about fermentation. After Netherlands, we go through Pacific with Robert Oliver. Robert Oliver, you're a brilliant TV host, producer, so you know how to manage 8 minutes without wasting your brilliant presentation.
Thank you all. What if I told you there was a way to impact climate change, at the same time to transform health outcomes, to create lasting food security and reclaim food sovereignty, and to maintain biodiversity? What if I also told you that you don't need a fleet of foreign consultants, political will, or development strategies to make this happen? This is a revolution led by mothers and grandmothers, by cooks in schools and hospitals, chefs in restaurants, and everyday people in their kitchens. And what I've also added that it wasn't hard or hopeless. It's culturally affirming, community empowering, and most of all, it's delicious. This is the logic behind Pacific Island Food Revolution. Next slide, first slide, please. You probably have to click it twice. And some volume, please. There's a lot of sound with this. Next slide, please. Next slide. Yeah, a lot more volume, please. So, Pacific Island Food Revolution first came about around, I grew up in the Pacific, and in around 2015, I found out that we had the highest NCD rates in the world, which is diabetes, all the illnesses associated to bad diet. And when I grew up in Fiji, it was like 4% diabetes, and now it's 84%. So there's been a change in the way people eat. It's largely attributed to food, and people have gone from eating their local food to processed food fundamentally. But the key to good health still sits in Pacific food culture. So my challenge was to restore and revamp for the modern era the local food systems that serve Pacific Islanders well for thousands of years. How do you do that? In 2014, I was cast as a judge on a big trashy reality show called My Kitchen Rules, which I was always very cynical about reality TV. But when I was on it, I was like, man, everyone's watching this. Everyone's cooking, everyone's talking about food. And I had to bury my food snob part and realize this was a fantastic machine for creating social change and creating better diets. So I got some investment from Australia and New Zealand governments to do the project in Fiji, Samoa, Vanuatu, the Kingdom of Tonga, and yeah. And so these are people I've worked with for years, and we all got together. Dr. John Ahawea from Fiji, Foleni Ko from the Kingdom of Tonga, Vatausi Mackenzie-Rowe from Vanuatu, Dora Rossi from Samoa, and the guy in the middle, probably you guys have not recognized him with his clothes on because he's the guy that does the coconut oil at the Olympics, the Tongan Olympian, Peter Topatofua. So I'm going to get my co-host to say a word to you about the logic behind Pacific Island Food Revolution.
My name is Bertrand Jang, and I am the new host of Pacific Island Food Revolution for Fiji. Now, we all know that our original Pacific cuisine is delicious and nutritious. So Pacific Island Food Revolution is about the restoration of Pacific cuisine, suited for these modern times.
Malo Lele, I am Foleni Ko, the co-host for the Kingdom of Tonga. We in the Pacific love visual mediums, so TV is the perfect way to get into people's homes and lives with this positive cultural message. Plus, I get to look pretty, dress up, and smile for the camera.
Hello everyone. My name is Vatausi Mackenzie-Rowe, co-host for the beautiful islands of Vanuatu. Pacific Island Food Revolution is a solution to a Pacific problem. We do not need anything from outside to fix this. We have the traditional knowledge and our food behind us to guide us. You see, non-communicable diseases is not just government business. Through food, non-communicable diseases is everyone's business. And you know what? We can do this.
Talafalava, this
Patausi, the co-host for beautiful Samoa. Hey, everybody everywhere is talking about Pacific Island Food Revolution and about food. Pacific Island Food Revolution is something people want to be a part of because, you see, it is not just a TV show. It's a social movement. It really is a revolution.
So I'm not short on personalities, right? So the TV part of this plays all over the world. It plays SBS Food Australia. It's on YouTube, actually, Pacific Island Food Revolution on YouTube. So that was the TV part. There's a big social media component as well. Cookbook, as you know, was released fairly recently. This is Patausi, who's been my longtime collaborator. I just want to make a note that cookbooks, they denote glamour and authority around cuisine. People see them and they see themselves for the first time, and it's like reconnecting people to their own beauty. And so cookbooks have a very powerful role in conservation and in glamorizing cuisines. I'm going to flip that. So we had the Australian government measured the show to be sure it was effective, and we found that 88% of Tongans were watching it, 84% of Samoans, 64% of Fijians, and 49% of Ni Vanuatu, which just goes to show that trashy TV really works. And of those people, 42% of them said they'd changed the way they eat after 3 seasons of the show. And a lot of it was around realizing that their own food was just really beautiful, and the realization that their culture was their cure, which is very profound. And of course, it's not just about health, it's about climate change and about biodiversity and about tourism. Food sits in all of these sectors and all of these spaces. And so the food sovereignty concept needs to kind of engage them all. We've now got revolutions happening in different countries. There's a American Samoa school food revolution. There's a food sovereignty project in the Solomon Islands. There's a big project in Vanuatu called Sanma Food Revolution, led by people from the show who are doing roadshows in all the villages in Vanuatu. And there's a Tongan tourism food revolution happening. So this is what happens when you create a positive food environment and people get to create their own revolutions. One note is that the positive, a lot of the development sector, like climate change and food security and health issues, are very depressing, and the language is it brings people down. But the food space is very uplifting, and it's fun, and it's delicious. I don't really talk about health or climate change, all those things in the show, because if we get people cooking right, it takes care of it by itself. So the question, I call it a food revolution, and the question is, whose revolution is it?
This is our revolution. It's our revolution.
This is our revolution.
It's our revolution.
This is our revolution. This is our revolution.
Our revolution.
This is our revolution.
Our revolution.
We're all in this together, and we can get through this together. The revolution begins at home.
Thank you.